Peace, fam. Today we're going to talk about body pH, the blood pH specifically, because a lot of people forget that alkalinity is reference to the blood, not necessarily other parts of the body, because some other parts of the body have to be acidic. The stomach obviously needs to be very acidic to do its job, um, etc. Okay, so you don't ever need the stomach to be alkaline on any level. We're just strictly talking about the blood pH, and that is generally what's referenced when we talk about pH. We know that the pH scale is 1 to 14. pH, the value 1 being very acidic, and 14 being very alkaline, with the number 7 being basically the neutral point, such as you would get with purified water. The body pH range should stay between 7.35 and 7.45 pH generally. That is the safe range in which the body best operates. A lot of people think that the body needs to be in an alkaline state, and the data and the science shows that that's just not the case. The pH needs to be balanced, not too acidic, not alkaline. And the body does this at all costs. When's the last time you've heard of somebody passing out or going into a coma or dying because their body was too acidic or too alkaline for that matter? Unless there were some other factors involved. So now the body goes into overdrive trying to signal you to give it minerals. How does it do this? Hunger signals, because you're trying to maintain this high alkaline state. This is one of the things that keeps people perpetually hungry for carbs and sweets, trying to keep this state. Furthermore, when the signals are unnaturally generated, you get odd cravings. And I talked about pica in one of my earlier videos, which is an abnormal activation of brain signaling which can become a problem. The body needs calcium, magnesium, sodium, and potassium to maintain a pH balance. And it needs this to maintain a balance, not to make the body alkaline. If you don't get these in adequate amounts, or some other deficiency or ailment is causing a lack in one or more of these minerals, your body will signal that it is hungry because it's craving these minerals, no matter how much you eat. And if you don't get this balance, it will pull the minerals from the bones and other parts of the body to keep that blood range, or that blood pH range, within that fragile 7.35 to 7.45. Some of the things you need to know are that the kidneys and adrenal glands regulate pH balance greatly, I should say. The kidneys by way of reabsorbing what's called carbonic acid. Carbonic acid is created from the reaction of carbon dioxide dissolving in water. And this acid is pulled back into the blood, and it reacts with red blood cells to create what's called bicarbonate. Now it's this bicarbonate which in turn alkalizes the blood, and this is what they refer to as the bicarbonate buffer system. Now the adrenal glands regulate pH system, or the pH level, via a hormone called aldosterone, and it influences the reabsorption of the sodium and the excretion of the potassium. Thereby, it indirectly influences water retention or water loss, and it also influences the blood pressure and the blood volume. Potassium and magnesium affect one another, which in turn affects calcium balance. So we can see how stress, which directly affects the adrenal glands, throws off the body's pH balance, which can cause things like high blood pressure, water retention, electrolyte imbalance, potassium loss, etc. And the pancreas also helps to create pH balance by buffering the action of stomach acid after digestion. Your stomach acids are actually neutralized by the pancreatic bicarbonate so that other enzymes can act in the body and you don't get stomach acid damage as a result of your digestive process. Now, what a lot of people don't know is that you can actually control some of the pH level of your blood by breathing. Now they use a fancy word called respiratory compensation, okay? And it reads that respiratory compensation is a mechanism of the respiratory center by which plasma pH, that's blood pH, can be altered by varying the respiratory rate. It is faster than renal compensation, but has less ability to restore normal values. So what this means is you can bring down the acidic level of your blood by just breathing. However, if you have an intake or diet that is acidic, then the values will go back up. But how does this happen? So simple. Remember when we talked or we saw that carbonic acid was one of the components responsible for alkalizing the blood. It's created when carbon dioxide dissolves in fluids in the body. So the more carbon dioxide, the more resulting carbonic acid. And thus the more alkalinity can be restored to the blood. Now, as we know, carbon dioxide comes from the air we breathe and cellular respiration. So of course, the more you breathe, the more carbon dioxide, the more carbonic acid, the more alkalinity in the blood. Now, this does not mean you should not strive to keep a proper pH balance. It just means that deep breathing is a way to combat blood acidity until more stable and persistent values can be maintained by the body's other systems that keep this balance in place. This is why many meditation practices entail deep breathing. Just doing that in and itself can physically bring the body into a balance so that the mind can be brought into balance by additional methods, either within the same session or in advanced stages of meditation. So basically, if you want to stay in proper balance, it can be as simple as eating healthy, adequate amount of veggies, deep breathing, and stress control, and knowing a little bit about the body. I always encourage that. Peace. If this information has helped you in any way, or you found it valuable, don't hesitate to subscribe. Also, for consultations, go to listensoneononestore.com, navigate down to the health consultations link, and from there it will take you to our health library page where you can receive a consultation.